Are you ready? Are you ready for something cool? Whoa, check that out. All the way up into the sky it goes. Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode here on the Hermitpack modded Minecraft 1.10 server. And we're playing around with some magic beans here. It's gone all the way up to the sky limit, the build limit of the world. And we've got 4 of these from exploring dungeons. They are extremely cool. You may have actually seen this in the second episode if you've seen the entire series. Iskal plopped one of these down. I didn't realise they were the same thing. I was saving these for something special. And I thought, let's start off the episode with some magic beans. I was under the impression that they create a dungeon at the very top. That's not actually what they create at all. They create a little loot chest for you. Now, check this out. Boom. Way up into the sky we go. If that isn't clear, I'll just look down. You can see that we are going extremely fast, and eventually we'll bang our head on a block that is above us. Now, a couple of episodes back, we made a ladder using those micro blocks, and that ladder was really fast, but this would have been a lot faster, and I wish that I had have known about this, because we could have planted one of these down in the desert and had it go all the way up to the surface, and then just chopped off the top, and it would have been way faster than what I built. In fact, that'll probably get replaced at some point, won't it? Anyway, let's harvest these right here. Just got to punch them, and bam, what do you get? Some diamonds, some emeralds, lots of iron, and a little bit of gold, as well as some beans. Now, I was playing around with the beans in creative the other day, and when I say that, as always, disclaimer alert, I'm talking about in another world. Not on this server, that's not how we play, this is survival Minecraft. And I found that using the Torturino, you can grow them fast, but they don't ever grow into magic beans. I believe the magic beans themselves are like a rare loot. So this isn't something that's farmable. You know me, I had a little vision there of building something up here at the sky limit where we could automatically get the beans, turn them into magic beans, plant them down, harvest them, all of that stuff would have been really cool. Let's drop down here because I've still got my slime boots on. All the way down we go, and all the way back up. Ha, there's that emerald that fell down. And so to get rid of these, luckily, just break the one at the bottom, and they all go down. That saves you a lot of time and effort. So what are we going to be doing in this episode? We are going to be flying. That's right, I got me some wings. We did this in a previous episode. Guess what? We got them up and running now. They are working. We can fly around like we're in creative mode. And I know what some of you are thinking. Overpowered, that's cheaty. Well, that's kind of the deal with mods, right? You can do so much more in your survival world because of things like this. You know, this house right here took a long time to build. I had to do a lot of pillaring up to get on the roof and change things. Now I can just fly up there. It's very convenient and easy. And we've got our slime boots on as well. If I disengage this, we will jump up and down. What I've been told... Oh, it actually didn't make us jump up and down. Is that because we landed on the path? Okay, so several people have told me when you use the angel rings, you don't need the slime boots. So let's just try that again. Let's fall down here. No fall damage. I really, really like that. But in order to get these to work, we needed to create GP. Currently, we actually have 128 GP in total. If I fly up into the air, we are now using 32 of it. And this type of power is passive power. It's like it's there, a number, and if you use some of it, it will take up some of that number. It's not like there's a capacity of it. Does that make sense? Like there's not a quantity, it's just a passive number. And these right here, you can see, will make them go up by 1. These are solar panels, so in the daytime, these will give you 1 GP. But this is not how I've created that 128. And the solar panels we really just use to get started. I don't think they're actually going to be a very good solution. Now, what I've used my wings for already is flying in the Nether. So we had to do this in a loaded chunk. So temporarily, we'll move this at some point. I claimed a chunk back here. And can I remember what you had to do to chunk load it? Was it shift and click? Or click to own, shift click to chunk load? Yes, that's correct. Okay, so if ever you want to do that yourself if you're playing the pack, that's how you load a chunk. That means it will be loaded around the clock. And so in here, we have created a simple little farm using water mills. These things right here. Are they called water mills? Have I remembered the correct name? Let's take one of them because I want to show you how these work. Yes, they're called water mills. So I came over here into the loaded chunk. There was just this little area of land sort of in this shape, and I decided to chuck down some water and put down a few of these water mills. And we sort of accidentally came to a pretty good layout for this right here. So let me show you how this works. We currently got 112. If I put down some water over here, the flowing water that reaches it will generate power. So that's made us 5 power in total. That is water on all sides. Now, if there is more of that water, or it's closer to the source, we can say that it's flowing stronger, something like that. So now it generates more. Now it's generated 8 in total. So what you want to do is have your water source diagonal to it, and then these two on either side are generating at the most possible. Now, you can't put the water directly on top of this thing, then it doesn't do anything at all. So downwards flowing water doesn't count. And we also tried putting the water to the side like this. So I guess the 8 is just 4 from either side. It's not from that side there. So it turns out pretty much the optimal layout, the way to do it, is something like this. So we have water sources adjacent from them, and then they flow off onto either side, and we've got the block removed below, so they flow downwards, and then that means that on all 4 sides of the watermill you've got flowing water, and that's the way you get the maximum amount of power out of them. And here is another block from that mod. It is the Resonator. It requires power to work. So if you fancy making yourself some angel rings and you want to do it using the water mills, you'll need this block right here. So I'd recommend starting off with the solar panel. Nice and easy to make. That polished stone can be made out of regular stone bricks. And then what you want to do is power your Resonator. Nice and easy to craft. And with that, you can make the blocks needed to make the water mill. So this isn't expensive at all, but that right there requires the Resonator. So you need to make a little bit of power to get from one to the next. And also there are other ways of generating power as well. For example, the windmill. There's a lava generator, and this one I find fascinating, a dragon egg generator. And we know how to duplicate the dragon egg, so maybe that's a way to increase our power in the future if ever we're going to need more of it. So now the Nether is basically going to be a piece of cake. Why is that? It's because those chunks are loaded, meaning that we can fly in the Nether, and that makes our life so much more easy. And check it out behind me, you can see it already. This place is just absolutely fantastic for getting diamonds. I reckon most of the diamonds we've got so far have actually been from the Nether, and now it gets so much easier when you can just fly around and look for them, because they are absolutely everywhere. But the reason that we are here is not to gather diamonds, as much as I want to do that. Oh, there's all sorts of goodies everywhere. We are actually here to pick up a blaze spawner, because in my hotbar you may have noticed that we have a moving wand. Now these wands are from a mod called Not Enough Wands, and some of you are going to tell me that they are overpowered. And again, like I said earlier, overpowered is kind of a good thing in modded, I think, because you want to do some building, you want to do some base building, made a gorgeous looking base, and these things just help you do that so much easier, and part of building a base is always climbing the tech tree. So we're going to right click with our moving wands on that blaze spawner, pick it up, and then we're going to do the off, because there are some blazes spawning in there and they've set me on fire. And this thing used hardly any energy at all. It has a high capacity, and yet it doesn't use hardly any to pick up a block, and that, you know, you can do on all types of block. So it's very, very convenient, but being able to pick up mob spawners and put them back down again, that is just fantastic. If ever we need to build a farm like that in the future, then we can, of course, use this. But you can only hold 1 block per wand, which is the downside. However, crafting these things are relatively cheap. This right here is made from some blaze rods, and the other thing, it only cost a couple of ender pearls and a piece of redstone. By the way, this is the block right here, coal generator, very easy to craft, and here it is placed down on the ground, and it stores a lot of power as well. We actually have another one of these, the Illumination Wand. Right click on a block to spawn light, right click on a block to remove it again. That sounds fantastic. So that is actually charging that up pretty quickly, right? And then it uses coal to produce the power you see on that side. I would like to check this out quickly. Do we see anything visible, or does it just make the block we click on? Oh, okay, that's actually not quite as good as I thought it would be. That's not so bad though. I was really hoping it would just change the properties of the blocks to make it like glowstone and illuminate light, but either way, I'm sure we're going to find that useful at some point. So we shall be building a blaze farm. The location deep down below us, because I don't want this thing to be activated by the player, as we are using a vanilla spawner. So there will be a little way to walk over here. There'll be a drop down, and I'm thinking what we might use is a magic beanstalk to get back up again. Although we can fly, I still want to instinctively make the base layout usable for a player that can't. So down here where that cobblestone block is, I've done all the measurements. It won't be activated from up above, it will be activated from down here, and the blazes will fall down onto this, which will be outside of the escape area, meaning that these can spawn over and over again. But anyway, I want to show you these other wands that I've got in my hotbar right here. So we're going to dig out the walls and we're going to decorate them with diorite, because diorite is such a beautiful and amazing block, right? And we want to select the building wand, and then we can click and it will place the diorite out of our inventory against the other diorite that's already there. Now you're probably thinking, Asumi, you are mad right now, and you're correct. No, we're not going to build with the ugly diorite. So it's a good thing that I've also got this swapping wand as well, because we can swap the blocks over. So to select a block, you've got to shift right click on it. So we can select this cobblestone and then we can click on this and it swaps it to that cobblestone. How amazing is that? So we can put loads of this in, and then if we change our mind, we can go, actually we're going to go with something else. And the reason that we are using such a block is because it has quite a nice pattern overall. Lots of variety going on, but this is a plain and simple wall, so we wouldn't want to overdo it with lots of other materials. I mean, we're hardly ever going to see this, so it saves us a lot of time. And I've just dug out that entire wall to build up another one, looking very good. Why am I not using the swapping wand? Like, that is surely quicker, is it not? That's kind of why I made this, and already I've managed to forget about it. Fantastic. Look at that. So much easier to build with. I love it. You also keep the items, so I have instant mined gold to some effect. If you went mining, you wouldn't see as much other stuff around it by digging away ores, but by replacing them, you're basically instant mining in a way, are you not? Alright, the floor of this place has been placed in. It is made out of glass, and behind us, what on earth is this stuff? I've been waiting a long time to use this in modded, because last time we had the opportunity to use this, I'd already gotten myself to a point where there were better things to use in the game, so to speak. But I think this is fantastic. It's from Tinkers. It's called Slime Channel. It's available in several different colours. And so with all of those slime blocks that we had left over from the little slime chunk thing up in the sky, you know, they kept dropping on the base. Well, we can use all of those slime drops to make these. It's really quite simple. You just got to smelt these blocks right here, and you get free for each one, which is awesome. It also requires XP. That's interesting because I put them in the alloy smelter and it didn't actually use any XP at all. But I love how flexible these are. You can sort of place them like diagonally if you want to. That should have placed diagonally, shouldn't it? There you go, that's a diagonal one. And you can even place them like on the side of blocks, so they go downwards, and basically they just... Well, that's actually not a great way to show you. Let's just walk into a stream like that, and it will move you along, just like water, but it can, you know, it can float. You can remove the blocks that are above it, and for that it's very flexible and versatile, which I really, really like. But what we're going to use it for is the blazes, and they actually take damage from this, which is a bonus because it just means we get to kill them a little bit quicker. So while they are being funneled to the center, they will take damage, and then when they're at the center, they're going to drop down below, and we're going to hurt them with a mechanical user. So we're going to give a mechanical user a sword, and then that'll do the damage, right? So you get an idea of what's going on here. Anyway, the place we're going to get a mechanical user from is our Ender Pearl farm, because unfortunately it doesn't actually work. If we have a look over here, let's flick the switch. All of these have been finished now, so there you go, that one works. It also seems to drop the frames a little bit when we do this, probably because the Torturino is turning on. This one over here though, not much happens. As you'll see, the Ender Pearls are fully grown and nothing's happening. I am wondering though, maybe the mechanical users need to be configured differently. But from here we could pinch one. Let's take this one right here. Also, you notice it said grid power. That's the same power system that I showed you earlier. However, those mechanical users require 0, which is a little bit odd that it sort of shows you that message. So do you left click or right click these? Right click gives you an Ender Pearl. Left click will break the Ender Lily, and it's already gone up there. I'll have to come down and replace that then. So yeah, this basically just doesn't work on it, unfortunately. From up here, that looks really, really cool. Oh man, this is so much fun. Okay, so we're going to put a block here. It's probably going to get dark up here as well. Let's leave a torch on the side of that, and we need to grab our wand from our extra little bit of inventory right here. That one right there. That's the one holding the spawner. Excellent. Okay, so Oh, actually, we do need a block on top of it because we don't want a blaze to spawn directly on top of it either. So let's right-click there. Excellent, the blaze spawner is in place. And let's get out of here quickly. Place another block there. Excellent, let's do the off. Down below we go, and that is now sealed. Excellent, so we should see some blazes spawning and falling down onto this. It might take a little bit of time. Also, this is not like blocked off yet or anything, is it? So let's get the mechanical user in place. And now I'm trapped up here, aren't I? That was a smart idea. Let's break this. Jeez, let's break this glass quickly. And oh no, I've broken the slime above it as well. Well, this is a bad start, is it not? Oh. Get out of my base, you blazes. Oh. Alright, that's more like it. These blazes have been delivered to this central point. They have taken damage on the way. We're going to put a vacuum hopper to the side. I hope this isn't too loud right now. Loud in my ears. And we're going to go with... Click on Entity. Isn't that one of these things? Left only. Entity. There we go. And we'll put the sword in and we'll make them left click. And now it's going to automatically attack them. Now, based on which ones I see taking damage, it doesn't look like the sweep attack that the player would have in 1.10 will damage all of them as a group, which is unfortunate. But there you go, we're now getting XP, and we're getting our blaze rods automatically just by standing here. How cool is that? Oh, we haven't even put enchantments on this sword. Now, I don't know if that'll get passed over, because this is the mechanical user, but we would like looting on there and maybe something like sharpness to kill them quicker. So that's another experiment that we can do. But what I want to look at next is how it is that we're going to pick up the XP. So it can be a bit of a pain to make modifications when there's blazes everywhere. So I'm going to come up here. Oh! And temporarily yank the spawner away so there'll be no more spawning. Excellent. So I'm grabbing some things from Ender.io here. The next thing that we're going to use is this experience obelisk. Now this doesn't do exactly what I want it to do, but it's nice and cheap to craft. So let's make that happen. Some solarium and some energetic alloy. I'm really glad we've already made these things as it saves a lot of time. Excellent. And there we go. We've got the experience obelisk. Now the way that this works, plop it down, right click on it, and you can transfer your levels. But this gets me thinking that if it stores it directly as levels, the value is different from lower levels to higher levels. So store all player XP. Right, and then if we take one level, we get one level. Oh no, look at that right there. So if we take 3 levels, it's still 36. Excellent. That does it correctly. Do I want to gamble all of my XP for this next test? No, I don't. So we're going to put... Oh, not that many. Let's just put in 5 levels of XP right there and break this thing. Put it back down on the ground, and it keeps it. Terrific. Also, it has an interface, Configure.io. So that means we can hook it up to other machines that use XP, right? That's really cool. But this means that the player is going to be like AFKing down here at the Blaze Farm and standing next to it, and then we'll transfer the XP into this one like manually, and that'll be a way to store XP, which might not be the most useful thing right now, but we will want to store XP later on in the game, so this will do for now is what I'm saying. I've got to say it, I am not really a fan of these glowstone textures. Just something about the way the colours go together I don't really like, and they probably look okay in this room, but it made me think, wait a minute, we've got the Illumination Wand, so perhaps rather than use this, and yes... Oh, that's right, I was about to say we've broken it into glowstone dust. With the chiseled glowstone, it doesn't do that, it actually just drops itself. We could just put a few of these down, right? And do they just stay there forever? I think that's the deal, they will just stay there as a light source, so we can have 4 of them in this room. And there you go, that's kind of this little area done. It's not the prettiest thing ever, but it's very functional. And what we have here, by the way, because I've redesigned this a couple of times, are conveyor belts, or the equivalent of, they're called fast conveyors from Simply Conveyors. Very cheap stuff to craft. This one is like the medium one, so you have slow, fast, and then fastest conveyor. And I thought we'd just go with gold. And yeah, so anyway, it pushes all of the blazes into the middle here. The reason why is because if we are to have them going into a single point above, the slime channel damages them, and if 2 are trying to get in there at once, they end up just fighting over it, and they're still in the slime channel and they die up there. So now all of the blazes will fall into this 3x3 area, and these other conveyors that don't damage them will push them over to this thing. And by the way, the venom enchantment gives them poison too, and poison works on the blaze of course, so that definitely helps. It's time to take a break from the blaze farm, and in our Ender.io tech tree there is something that I'd very much like to craft. It is the soul binder. This thing will allow us to change the type of broken spawner that we have, and in order to craft it we need an Enderman Head. And that means we're going to take a trip to the end. Now there's probably many ways to do this. The way I would like to do it is with Tinker's Tools, and a lot of you, or a lot of players that play modded, are probably very familiar with this mod, and I'm really fond of it. And what I've learned through reading through this book is it feels like the idea is that there's no best tool in the game, but there's a best tool for each job that you want to do. And what we want to do is get the Enderman Heads, which means we're going to make a cleaver, which is good for beheading, and there are certain materials that are going to help us make the best tool with that. So reading through here, I've realised that there are tons of really cool and interesting properties that each thing has. So if you use this on a headpiece, as you can see here, like the hammerhead or a plate, you will get something called momentum, and it says mining blocks increases your speed as long as you go faster. If you put it on your handle, you'll get lightweight, which increases the overall speed of your tool when mining and attacking. And there are lots of little properties that each of the different materials have. So I've sort of been going through all of them and thinking about what do we want for our beheading sword, and Mandalum is basically the best because it has the highest attack damage, but it also has this as well. During combat you deal more and more damage, but also consume more and more durability. That's a bit of a double-sided sword there. And this one says deal increased damage to targets at full health. So we're going to roam into the end and just start slaying Endermen. So this is actually going to be quite good for what we need to do. So this is what I think is going to be best for us. Let's go and select the cleaver. We're going to go with the sword blade and the tool rod as well. That's going to give us both, except we've got to fill this all up, don't we? It's going to give us both of those things, insatiable and cold-blooded. Now I almost went for this one as well because splintering has an interesting effect on it. Let's go into the book and let's quickly jump to the bone tool right here. Splintering. Hit them more and more to deal more damage. That sounded like a really good thing, but I realised we're probably only going to be doing a couple of hits on the Enderman, and it would probably be better to have this instead. So you see there the attack damage is 13.35. We swap it over for that piece and it goes all the way up to 18.2. And the reason we got this, by the way, is for the extra modifiers that it adds. And if we had just another one of those, it would probably do even more damage still. But with those modifiers, what we shall be doing, and let's swap it over to that one, is adding in a block of obsidian and an ender pearl, which is going to level up the beheading. So currently it's on 2, and that'll take it up to beheading 3, which leaves us with 5 more modifiers. So I think we're going to put beheading 5, which if I recall correctly is a 50% chance to get a head from a mob. So that sounds like a really good way to do things. And then we're left with 3 more modifiers. So what I thought we'd do just for now is mess around with quartz, because quartz can actually add like sharpness to it and make it do even more damage. So that would bring it up all the way to 20.02 attack damage. Right, so it's 18 quartz block for 1 level. So let's do that the once and then once more. And now we've got like sharpness 2 on it. So we do over 20 attack damage. And we've still got 1 modifier remaining. That is extremely cool. So that's going to be the sword that we take to the Nether to try and get ourselves some Enderman Heads. These ones, man, these ones are so overpowered. I got another one for you. I got another one. We need to go to the end, you know that now. And we went all the way somewhere over here. Wow, we've been exploring a lot. I'm not actually sure where it is on this map. It's somewhere over in this region. Well, I was going to align it so that we were facing sort of in the right direction, and then we can just hold down right click and teleport our way there. But apparently when I'm looking at you, that's going to be a little bit more difficult. So let's hold down right click again. And look at that, fast travel if ever you needed it, and it's used not very much energy at all. That is extremely overpowered, but very awesome. Well, lucky for me, I hadn't deleted the footage on my hard drive from where we went to the End Dragon, so all I had to do is watch it back and look for the coordinates, which are in the top right of the screen, and then I could just plot the waypoint on the map. Very helpful. Well, in this game, you live and you learn by trial and error. And all that research that I did, as soon as I got here, I remembered something. And that is that this endstone can be used in Tinker's tools. And the property that it adds to the weapon is to stop the Enderman teleporting away, which I initially thought was a really great thing. And now that I've come over here, I've seen that the amount of damage that we're doing allows us to one-hit these guys. And our tool that we've made actually suffers a little bit because it doesn't have a lot of durability. And so we're kind of wasting this in a way because it could repair so much more. Look at that, it's got 184. I have been leveling this thing up very quickly though, which is awesome. But let's go and find some Endermen and let's one-hit kill them. Bang, like that. Got to make sure you get a crit, otherwise maybe not. There we... Oi, you took a few hits, didn't you? So yes, I've slowly been collecting some Enderman Heads. I reckon it's about a 1% chance per what level you have, or maybe a 2% chance because... we've only got 3 of them so far, and I feel like I've killed quite a few Endermen. This guy right here won't die. And he's wrecked my chest plate. I managed to save my helmet. I've hit this guy like 20 times. Full attack. Like that. With a critical. And he just won't die. What is with that? That's crazy, right? I mean, I've been doing this for a few minutes now. I got this, a Lit Parcel dropped from the last one. Maybe I can't kill him until I've opened this. It's a little bit strange. Yeah, so... a present for you. Use it well. Right-click to get the gifts. Let's get the gifts. Oh, what is that? It is a dimlet type controller. Thanks. Every dimlet needs a type specific controller. Of course it does. And we've also got the... I don't even know like what this is from. It's from RF Tools and... Thank you very much, I think. I don't know why I've been given them. Let's try this guy again. You're just impossible to kill. I don't get it. Oh, jeez. Maybe I should use a different weapon on this guy. Let's try the Saab and see if that'll help us. That'll also poison it. Oh, jeez. I might get killed if I'm not careful. There you go. It's been poisoned. But it still won't die. It's on fire as well. Amazing. I'd like to take a moment to apologise to all the people who facepalmed. There may have been some damage to the face there. Oh dear. I didn't notice that it had broken. That's such a goofball. I'm afraid to say it, but this sword isn't quite as great as I thought it was going to be. And one of the things that you can do is add one of these plates to it to give it more durability. Or so I thought, because that's got 116, this has got 184. It says your tools last longer most of the time. Does that mean it's less durability, but it sort of doesn't quite work like that? It'll let you get away with it a bit more, so to speak. I'm not going to chuck it on there. I'm going to make this a little bit sharper. Hopefully that means we don't have to critical hit each time we attack. And it's all the way up to beheading 10. That's because I've been leveling it up. We are up to heroic. And in total, I got 7 Enderman Heads. And do you know what I really want to do? You know what I want to do. Oh no, I can't put it on my head. I was going to go into F5 with an Enderman face. Oh well. It's not the same as wireless, but this is pretty good. We need some XP, and thanks to our Blaze Farm, we can bring this with us and give ourselves 10 levels of XP. I actually gave it 10 levels of XP, which wasn't what I was trying to do, and now because of that, we can do some enchanting. So I don't have mending on my gear yet, so I need a new helmet since that one's about to break. That's pretty cool. Got fire protection on it. That one had blast protection, and that's good because of where we're about to go. If you look at what's in my inventory, you might have a little bit of a guess, a sneaky guess as to what I'm going to do next. Let's give myself a couple more levels. Actually, I only needed 1. Blast protection 4, awesome. I think this one had fire protection and that one had blast protection before, and now they're the other way around. You might have predicted this bit. We're in the Nether, looking for blaze spawners. I've already got 1, and maybe we'll get another 7 if we're lucky. And then I've spotted these guys, and I've remembered our new sword. Ha-cha! Ha-cha! And every time we kill one, we get a River Skull. That is amazing. They are, of course, in vanilla. A very rare item. But modded is a different game, you know. Let's see if we can one-hit him. Yes, without even doing a crit. That's amazing. And there it is. Another blaze spawner. Pinch! We're going to load that room full of them so that we get some really good spawn rates. I didn't actually make that thing with multiple blaze spawners in mind. But it's just sort of where we've ended up going. If ever you wanted to make a vanilla-style mob farm, I don't think I've ever seen a better point than this right here. There's absolutely nothing around here, just this nether fortress. But we'll probably never end up doing anything like that. There's all these blocks and stuff that are going to replace doing vanilla-style farms. However, you know that I do love my vanilla gameplay, so maybe at some point I'll be motivated to do something like that. Chest raiding is another thing we can do so easily now. I don't know what this is, but I want to keep it. That is very good. We've already had that, but I will pick that up in a second for other players. Excellent! That is what I like to see. Oh, and the Teleportation Wand. I've already found one in another chest. I'll tell you what, this is awesome. Okay. Okay, that definitely looked like a tree from afar. And then I come over here and I'm thinking, what is this? It's just sort of hit me. This is like a slime island in the overworld, right? Except you can get the different types of slime here. This is fantastic. We're discovering so many cool things out here. These are basically magma slime trees, and we've got some saplings. So we can take those back to our base. They might not grow in the overworld, but that was a good find. What I really wanted to show you right about now was this thing. And straight away we found another one. How amazing is that? I was actually expecting to find one because we're travelling... Hey, wait a minute. Hi. See you later, buddy. Off you go. Yes, in the Nether, you may or may not know this, but fortresses tend to sort of spawn in lines, like off in the distance. And so if you head in a straight line once you've found one, you are quite likely to find more. So not actually too surprised to see this one just over here, but didn't expect it so close. And this will be our very last blaze spawner that we need to pinch. So, yeah, we've got 8 more. It's incredible, isn't it? Like, we are very overpowered, but the things that we can do with this is going to be very interesting for sure. Anyway, it's about time that I head back. Look, there's another one, but I'm out of wands. Hopefully I can find my way back. It shouldn't be too difficult. And, well, I've got the waypoint, and I can get around just by doing this, right? Brilliant. Excellent, we have a customer, and by customer, I don't really mean customer. False is interested in these, which are great, because they make a big difference in this game. And, you know, now that I've got mine, I don't need any more of them, so hopefully False will be able to put them to use. We've done it! We've done it! I've just been in and out of there, placing them. Look at that! Absolutely ridiculous. There is a tower of them there. I believe we have 9 in total, and there is nothing but constant blazes coming down into this little area. And oh man, that is so cool. But we'll probably find this can't kill them fast enough, so it's not going to do for this one. And also, I've left the little XP thing upstairs. I noticed something else that might do the job, that might automatically pick up the XP. So I am expecting lots of comments about that. Let's go get the XP thing. There is something else that I wanted to do, and that is roll the weapon case. Last time we did this, didn't quite work out. There it is. It's doing the shuffle. It's making that crazy cool noise. What have we got this time? That looks amazing. We've got red. It is crude, unfortunately, and it only does 7 attack damage. It can't really compete with that 23.5, can it? Although, as we've learned, that sword has like a short lifespan before it needs repairing again. Anyway, I'm going to pick this thing up. We're going to take it down below. I will be AFKing down there. We're going to get an insane amount of blaze rods, XP, all the things that will help us move forward, which is just fantastic. So you know what that means is it from me this episode. If you have enjoyed it, please do leave a like. As always, thank you for the support, and I will see you in the next one. Ciao for now. Bye-bye.